Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Journey to Wellness. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing the good, the bad, and the ugly of the keto diet.
It's our 1 month ketoversary.
Yeah, we've been doing this for right at a month now, and we have come up with some good stuff, some bad stuff, and
some not so good stuff.
A couple of ugly things. And so we're just going to jump right into them. And for number one, keto diet is, we're going to discuss the good first. And number one for the good would be, it's fairly easy. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry when it comes to things either have carbs or they don't. Things either have sugar or they don't. So I think that's fairly simple.
Yeah, and it doesn't give you a lot of room to, like I said in last week's episode, was that I have trouble making decisions or regulating myself. And so this is, once you use up all your carbs, they're gone, you're done for the day. So you learn to space them out, and, you do have to be careful about hidden carbs, but yeah, that's one good thing, that it's easy to tell what you can and cannot eat.
Right. Number two is you can find things that you like. It's not super limited to certain items that are made a certain way. There's a lot of things, like for me personally, love chicken wings. Love chicken wings. And when I found out I could eat chicken wings on keto, I was all in for that.
Yeah, and for me, I am an extremely picky eater. And so I've really been able to find some things that I enjoy. I'm not having to eat things that don't taste good, or that I'm not, I'm still hungry afterwards. With keto, you're full. I have to remind myself to eat a lot of times now, because I just don't get hungry.
Sometimes it's like it's hard to get to your calorie count before the end of the day because you've eaten pretty much what you wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And also another thing is you can pretty much adapt any recipe to make it keto. So all that stuff out there, I mean, anybody who's doing this diet knows you can go out there and pretty much find a recipe for everything.
One thing that I used to love to make was a beef stroganoff, and we were able to adapt that. Instead of using noodles, we used the I don't know how to pronounce them right, shirataki noodles.
Shirataki noodles.
And
it was delicious.
It was delicious. We don't feel like we're missing out. And we have a large family, and so we have to prepare things for them, and so we're not having to prepare something completely different from us. We just, make what we make, and then we just, adapt just a little bit.
A couple of portions to make it, for our keto diet.
Exactly. So.
Number three thing that's good is it brought back the traditional family dinner time. As we, in our lives and eating the fast food and doing, everybody's in a hurry, everybody's on their devices, everybody's eating in front of the TV. Well, with keto, everything has to be pre-planned. I mean, your dinners are laid out and you have to put thought into it. And so we're planning full dinners for the whole family, and we're all sitting around the table like the Waltons,
And it's like the Waltons around here, believe me.
And it is, and so.
But it's nice that we're being able to catch up on each other's day and really connect, which we haven't had that in a long time.
It was starting to go away, especially as our kids got older.
Yeah, definitely.
Fourth thing that is great about keto, and probably one of the things that and most people would take this as number one, weight loss. I mean, that's why we're doing it. Weight loss and the feeling of accomplishment, because you do when you start seeing the results. And we're going to take this time to talk a little bit about our results. because I've been 4 weeks in. We both been 4 weeks in, 4.5 weeks in, and last week we had told you that we were both at 7 pounds, and the last time I weighed, I was at 15. I'd lost 15 pounds, and you were
11.
You were at 11. So those are, everybody talks about gains. Those are gains in our weight loss journey, and it makes you feel like the effort is worth it.
It does, and that also helps me to fight through another temptation, because I don't want to lose the gain that we've had, and so
That's right. And we'll get more into
it's
those
a good
temptations
motivator.
later. Number 5, and this is very important, especially for us because, we're not spring chickens anymore, Energy and less sluggishness. I cannot tell you the amount of days that I would come home from work after having a bad diet all day and the night before and not sleeping well, and you really notice when you start feeding your body properly how it's supposed to respond and how you're supposed to feel. And I'm telling you, the energy level, I cannot count the last time or pinpoint the last time that I stayed up past 10 o'clock over the last few years, because, I'm so tired by 9 o'clock that we're just out.
And, yeah, I've had a lot more energy, especially in the mornings and everything. Now, I have been having trouble sleeping, and I've been waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and being wide awake, ready to go. So I don't know if that's having more energy or what, but...
well, you're still going as long as you used to go, but you're not sleeping as well, and I think there's other issues going on, but we're going to discuss those here in a minute. So those are 5 good things. Now we're going to talk about 5 bad things. Do you want to start that off for us?
Well, I think I touched on this last time, is the keto flu. Now, I had a particularly bad case of the keto flu. You didn't seem to suffer near as long as I did.
Again, I had like 3 days where I did not feel good, but
I was sick.
Yeah, and
very sick.
And the keto flu, it's going to affect. I said this before. It's going to affect the individual on an individual basis.
And I don't like the term the keto flu. I mean, I guess I'm
we
nobody.
We didn't make that term.
I'm nobody to be, saying I don't like the term keto flu. But for me, I had all kinds of issues. My legs, oh my goodness, the restless legs was insane. Cramping. I would have cramps in muscles I didn't even know I had. Just miserable. I thought that keto was killing me. And luckily, I stuck it out and
persevered.
I made some adjustments in my supplements, which has made a big difference.
Right, I think, yeah.
That has, because I read somewhere that it took us years to create the body that we have right now. And so to expect it to just, be great and perfect in no time is unrealistic. And so I know that all the years of sugar addiction and I had candida overgrowth, I had
dehydration.
I was chronically dehydrated. I have always had stomach issues. So, those things were magnified.
And she was mainlining sugar.
Pretty much that was all my diet was sugar. Starbucks coffee and sugar.
And I wasn't
cereal.
much.
That was it.
In all fairness, I wasn't much better. I mean, I could smell a Krispy Kreme donut 15,000 miles away because I love me some donuts.
Yeah.
But point number 2 of the bad is
going into the
having to pre-plan meals. We spoke that it was in the good that you pre-plan meals so you have family dinner time, but it's not fun to have to, think of portion sizes and count all your carbs and count your fiber and count your calories
and plan out what we're going to eat next Tuesday is going to be A, B, C, when we're so used to, hey, what you feel like tonight?
Yeah, what do you want to do tonight for supper? And that's taking some work. And let me tell you, keto is a challenge for marriage because we had to learn how to do this all together. And we both work really hard at our jobs. And you come home at night, and you're still going to work for a little while when you get home.
Because you're going to cook supper and clean up and all that kind of stuff.
And then plan and then sit down and...
And I think another thing talking about it being difficult on marriage is, for me, I was being very judgmental about, like, you're not as serious about this as I am. And so that was causing a little bit of resentment on both sides, which was ridiculous.
But we're 4 weeks in. We've kind of adjusted. Both of us have adjusted
definitely.
to it. And
we've got a good rhythm going.
We're starting to see the good side of it. But we're not talking about good. We're talking about bad right now.
Bad.
So point number 4 of the bad is it's challenging to shop. And I'll say this. When you walk into a traditional grocery store, it's not set up for you to succeed on keto.
Or any diet.
I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but something's going on when the first 10 things that you walk up on are donuts, cookies, potato chips, soda. Those are the first things that are in prominent locations right there on the front aisles. When you finally get around to a healthy food item, it's about that much space on an entire aisle.
And it costs 12 times as much as the unhealthy equivalent.
So, it's challenging to shop together. So, one of the things that we learned to do is don't go to the grocery store by yourself. We go together because we hold each other accountable.
And there's been so many times that I've needed to go to the store and I'm like, you have to go with me, because I know if I go by myself, then I'm going to sneak a candy bar.
Impulse
and that's so much about I'm learning so much about myself, because I'm realizing how unhealthy it is that I think about sneaking food. I mean, I have this horribly unhealthy relationship with food, and I'm so thankful and I feel so accomplished that I'm beating it, it's...
And we want to say this. If you're struggling, man, everybody struggles. If you cheat, don't quit.
Just do it. Start the next day.
Pick it right back up and keep going. I'm not going to sit here and say that she and I have been perfect on the perfect keto diet, and we haven't.
Well, we'll tip on that one on the ugly part.
Yeah, when we get to the ugly, we'll talk about that. But just persevere. Keep going. You'll be glad you did.
And another is the carb cravings. Those were pretty rough. Just where you could not think about anything else but that piece of candy or that bowl of cereal.
Or that donut.
Cereal.
Donut. But yeah, Starbucks was another weakness for us.
Oh, definitely. Because it was so much part of our routine on Saturday morning. We'd get up early, go to Starbucks, have a muffin and our
about
sugary
2,700 calories in one drink,
Oh, yeah, and the iced vintage John Normus, but...
Not to mention the 100 of carbs.
Well, think about how much money
carbs.
We're saving not going to Starbucks.
Well, there's another one we should have added to the love.
To the good, yeah.
But number 5, and our last of the bad, is trying to explain keto to other people.
Oh, my goodness.
Good grief, man.
I thought my grandparents were going to have a coronary, because they were just like, that does not sound healthy to me. You are going to give yourself a heart attack.
And can you eat this? And can you eat that? And
And then they're trying
You
to
want my
offer.
bread?
They're trying to offer us bread. Come on, what are you trying to do to us?
I mean, it's all out of love, but they just don't understand. And then you either have the expert at keto or the person that doesn't have a clue what keto is. And the expert tells you keto's going to kill you. And that's what we've ran into, and several people that I've spoken to have been like, oh, that keto diet, you need to be careful on that keto diet because I heard this
Well,
and
he
I
works
heard
in
that.
the medical field, so
Well, I do.
There's some uneducated.
Now, granted, all these people that were telling me all this advice that keto is dangerous have never done keto. But I've also had very good experiences with some very knowledgeable people who did keto and were successful and were happy, and that, I have some family members that do keto and they're always sending us recipes and sending us.
And that's what kind of got us or introduced us to keto was I had some work friends who have been extremely successful with it, and that's kind of what I guess got me started looking into it was their success. And so I'm fortunate that I have a lot of support at my job.
And I do too. I just have to look in the right places. So anyway, guys, so we've covered the good.
We've covered the bad.
Now let's cover just a couple of points on the ugly. And it's going to get real in here right now. I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I don't know. I'm no scientist and no nutritionist, but for me, the ugly.
And for me.
Was, good grief, your breath stinks so bad.
Oh, I read what that could be. Is that you are the protein.
Well, whatever it is, I've got a toothbrush and toothpaste in my drawer at work. I have about 5 tins of mints that I carry around in my pocket at all times because I'm afraid if anybody else can smell what I'm smelling.
And it still breaks through sometimes.
And it's just embarrassing, and then you're like, I'm sorry, I'm on the keto diet, and it makes you, and you're trying to explain to people why you got stank breath. On top of the stank breath, you got stank poops. You got your poo and your farts stink so bad, it'll clear a room, buddy.
Well, and what's so bad is have you ever smelled me?
We're about to celebrate 20 years of marriage on the 4th of July. And I didn't think the woman farted, to be honest with you. Because I'd never smelt it, and I've run her out of the house a couple of times. But we're firing off like we're at war.
That's so embarrassing. I can't believe you. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was bad because I have suffered with like chronic constipation my entire life, but this is a new.
Things are getting rolling. Things are getting rolling in there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I like it too much.
But you're going to live longer because of it, though.
That's
the goal.
That is the goal.
Because we want to live so long we get on each other's nerves. Like, wouldn't you just die already? I'm just kidding.
You're awful.
I'm just kidding. I want to be with you forever.
And never.
Amen. So.
Okay,
your turn for the ugly.
Okay, my ugly. And my ugly is my own personal ugly. I had a slip up. And it started out innocently enough. I was alone here and I thought I'll just have a tiny bit of cereal, and it kicked off cereal Mageddon. I ate cereal all day long. I ate so much cereal. I don't think I've ever eaten that much cereal, and it was good, and I loved every minute of it. But in my mind I was being good because it was Cheerios with no sugar, and I used almond milk, so 1 carb per like half a cup, but I ate 45,000.
But she ate 17 cups. So
yeah, but oh my goodness. But I regretted it. Believe me, I regretted it bad.
I probably should mention one little
you need to mention
one little cheat that I had. So I was having to travel a little bit for work, and on my little road trip, I was like, nobody's around, nobody's gonna know. So I swung into Sonic and got a little tiny ice cream from there. And I'm a little lactose intolerant,
Yeah.
and I
Ice cream's not his
forget,
friend to begin with.
and I don't know what Sonic puts in their ice cream, but I ate that little thing of ice cream, and I felt like somebody had freaking poisoned me. I came home, I was distended,
You
my
felt like he was
stomach was,
pregnant with
my
twins.
stomach looked horrible, it was swollen up. I felt like I was about to pass out. I felt like I was.
He went straight to bed. He came in the house and went straight to bed.
I couldn't move. It was terrible, and it was like I honestly felt like I was withdrawn from some kind of heavy drug or something. It was terrible, and my stomach hurt. And talk about stinky farts.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God.
The what we talked about to begin with is nothing compared to what that was.
Yeah, because they stink already, and then you put ice cream on top of being lactose intolerant. And I think that the lactose intolerance was way more sensitive because of being
It probably
on keto.
was.
And man, what a life lesson. I learned the hard way that
Was it
there
horribly
is no
sweet?
yeah, it was incredibly sweet.
And that's one thing that I've
But
noticed, like dark chocolate, like really dark chocolate now has gotten sweeter tasting without having sugar. So
yeah, well, just put it this way. Don't cheat if you can help it. But if you do, don't get discouraged and quit either.
yeah, we just picked up the next day and
Kept rolling, and we're still progressing. We still feel good about what we're doing. We're learning every day, and we're happy with our progress. I'm happy. Are you happy?
I'm very happy, and I'm hopeful. That's what's so good is just that I have this. I don't have the fear of the future like I had, because I had a real fear that, because I knew that all that sugar that I was eating constantly was going to lead to diabetes, and I knew that all that sugar that I was eating and cereal, and we're not talking about healthy cereal, we're talking about Cocoa Krispies. All that cereal was going to mess up my stomach and my colon and all that, and so I have a hope that I can reverse the damage that I've done, and that we do have a future now.
Yeah, and I mean, when we first started this journey on YouTube, way back in January, on our very first video, we had talked about we wanted to do this lifestyle change because, I had a scare with high blood pressure and some heart issues, and there was nothing serious at the point, but
it was Coke Zero was his problem with that.
Well, yeah, stay away from Coke Zero.
Good gosh.
I don't know what's in that stuff either. It's like embalming fluid or something. I don't know. But
Killed you.
Anyway, we didn't have a plan on what we were going to do, and then we found it.
Yeah.
And we're starting to make the changes that we need to move forward in our life. So we appreciate you guys coming by for this episode.
And any advice anybody can give will be greatly appreciated, and we'd love to hear your comments, and subscribe, because we've got a long future ahead of us, and we'd love for y'all to be there with us to enjoy it.
Yeah, we want y'all to see us when we get down to where we want to be.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited.
Because you guys are holding us accountable.
Exactly. Right. That's a big thing.
So thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And remember, guys, be happy and stay strong.